scripture this morning comes from the book of Proverbs, chapters 5 and 6. Mark well that God doesn't miss a move you make. He's aware of every step you take. The shadow of your sin will overtake you. You'll find yourself stumbling all over yourself in the dark. Death is the reward of an undisciplined life. Your foolish decisions trap you in a dead end. Good friend, follow your father's good advice. Don't wander off from your mother's teachings. Wrap yourself in them from head to foot. Wear them like a scarf around your neck. Wherever you walk, they'll guide you. Whenever you rest, they'll guard you. When you wake up, they'll tell you what's next. For sound advice is a beacon. Good teaching is a light. Moral discipline is a life path. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. You may be seated.
Well, I'm sure that when Dolores read those two proverbs, which, by the way, are a part of wisdom literature from the Bible, you noticed that they were very, very different. The first one dealt with being entangled with sin, being bound to something other than God's righteousness. The second one talked about all of the wisdom that we get from our parents, the good teaching, those things that we need to wrap around us so that during difficult times, they will be there and they will help us when we are tempted. So today, we're going to look at the lives of several different people. We're going to go step by step by step deeper into their lives until we circle back around and we arrive at the place where you and I need to make a choice. You see, we're going to look to see if these people danced with the devil or did they get in a wonderful, wonderful dance with Jesus Christ. Did they dance with Jesus, or did they take a time when they danced with the devil? So right now, I want to introduce you to the very first person we're going to talk about today. His picture will be coming up on the screen, and he is Philippine boxing champion Manny Pacquiao, or somebody told me today, Pacquiao. No, his nickname happens to be Pac-Man, and it did not come from that fun game that we all played. Somebody took the first three letters of his first and last name, put them together backwards, and thus came the name Pac-Man. At age 39, Manny has had quite a life. He was called Fighter of the Decade for the years 2001 and 2010. And he also fought his way to the top to become the first 8-division boxing champ of the world. In April of 2009, his photo was on Time magazine as one of the most influential men in the world. Some experts say that he has ended up being a better boxer than the legendary Sugar Ray Leonard. He has had over a 17-year career in boxing, and right now, his estimated worth is over $200 million. He's run for office, he has won, and he is very, very generous in all of his giving, whether it's in the United States or in the Philippines. And he even built a church in his native village. Doesn't that sound impressive? But I'll tell you, if he were here today, he would tell you that his life was a mess, and he danced with the devil for a while, meaning that he did things that he knew was wrong. Not only that, when you dance with the devil, it's like playing with fire. Eventually, you're going to get burned. I would think dancing with the devil would not be the partner or that we would like to glide across the ballroom floor with. It's dangerous and it's foolish, just like that first proverb told you. Now, when Manny was young, he wanted to become a Catholic priest, but severe poverty got in his way. And at age 13, he had to leave home to be able to support his family. He lived in the streets, he sold flowers, and he worked at construction sites rubbing rust off of heavy machinery. Well, that all changed when he landed a spot with the amateur boxing team. Sometimes he would box for only $2 a night, but all of a sudden his fame and popularity skyrocketed. His life went from bad to good to awful in no time at all. The more money he made, the more opportunities he had to indulge in all of those things circling around him, all of those incredible temptations. Here's what he did. He gambled, he cursed, he committed adultery, he drank, and he didn't send money home to help his family. And you know what was worse? He really didn't care. The mess he was in was causing himself problems, and not only that, causing problems for all the people he loved. Now, we're going to go a step deeper now. As awful as Manny's mess was, it's really a part of something larger in our world. You see, we live in a world of sin. We all know that. But we also know that God has given us free choice. We can make up our minds on what we want to do. Not a day goes by in the news that we don't hear about somebody that has been tempted by sin or all the things and all the choices that are available to us. So we're going to meet another person, General David Petraeus, a star on the battlefield, whose impeccable judgment failed him when he had an extramarital affair, and worse, gave the secret documents to his lover. In addition, the media constantly tells about pastors, even pastors of megachurches, that have been so surrounded with temptation that they have fallen flat on their face. Isn't it interesting? Even the faithful can be tempted. Hollywood stars, government officials, heads of large corporations, small corporations, people like you and me, we all share the spotlight with people that are doing things other than what God asked us to do. Now, I don't know about you, but this weekend I went, whoop, I didn't do that one. Whoops, I didn't do this one. So in case you just happen to have a pen and you're mentally checking off all the sins of Manny and David Petraeus, well, I'm going to burst your bubble. Well, there are other sins too, like pride, being overly critical, gossiping, delving into fits of anger, greed, and envy, and they swirl all around us like a stage 4 hurricane. But you know, they're there. We have to make a choice. And if we're not careful, they're like the suction cups of a large octopus. And those suction cups grab a hold of us and hold us tight, and we hardly are able to let go. Right now, Bernie Madoff is sitting in prison because of his love of money and his greed. It is said that that Ponzi scheme was the most difficult one that hit Wall Street. He hurt the poor and the rich alike, and it's been estimated that it's going to go over $65 million as they uncover everything. And you may think that anger and gossip and all that other stuff won't put you in prison, but the results can imprison others and make them totally give up on all hope. All of these things and much, much more are all a dance that the devil loves, and his hand is forever out there saying, "May I have this dance?" Well, one day Satan and Jesus entered into a conversation. Satan had just come from the Garden of Eden, and he was gloating and he was boasting. This is what he said. "Yes, sir, I caught me a world full of people down there, set me a trap, and I used all the bait